have such a perfect life. I'm always smiling, so it must mean that everything is going on well. I have nothing to complain about because I am so blessed. This is what many people I meet, and even those I have never met on social media, assume about me, just from what they can see. I find this extremely fascinating because why do we pretend that people who look fine on the outside are fine on the inside when we know very well that we wear masks to make people think we are doing fine? Why do we judge others, compare ourselves to them, and be jealous of them when we are not being true to ourselves? I find it sad that we have created a society where people are encouraged to pretend to be okay. Social media is awash with messages about vulnerability and opening up, but that's just a matter of speak. The reality for many is that when you are honest about how you feel, you are shunned, you are treated like a nuisance, a burden even, or a bomb waiting to explode, so everyone runs away from you. They'll scream about the importance of mental health, but treat the mentally ill like a virus. They'll tell you about how they're there for you, how they care for you, only to talk behind your back saying how you're eating into their finances, how you're lazing around, how you're too weak. It's true that for many of us, life is full of thorny paths. We wake up only to wish that the day came to an end even before it started. We go to work only to wish that we could run away. We love people that revel in digging poisoned daggers into our hearts. Many of us are walking around with bleeding hearts, but still fill the world with smiles. We have become so good at lying to ourselves that the world believes our lies. If there's something that I'm really good at, it's looking at myself without running away. I can lie pretty well to others, but I have learned not to lie to myself. Even in the darkest moments of life, I remind myself not to run away, to just stay and explore the darkness. This reminds me of a poem from my hopefully soon-to-be published poetry collection about navigating life in a dark season where you may experience feelings of unworthiness and just wanting to disappear. The poem is called The Ballad of My Heart. The ballad of my heart, I have searched and struggled to hear its melodies. A hum, a beat, a crescendo, silence. Is it the ding of a spoon as I sugar my tangawizi tea? Is it the hum of my shower as I scald my cold body? Is it the rush of tap water as I wait to fill my begging throat? The ballad of my heart is a sweet melancholy, a sweet melancholy that guides me into my Hades. What could it mean? The song that keeps me up, drags me down, hits my head, then lifts me, just to listen to it over and over again. The ballad of my heart is the tale of my life. I loved life so much, but life chose another. I scoured my being for life, but life chose another. The ballad of my heart is a story of a painful, unrequited love. Even when life ran away from me, I chose it again and again. Even when I tired of life, I chose it again and again. The ballad of my heart plays over and over, and with each beat, my heart begs for mercy. And with each beat, the ballad of my heart fades away, and with each beat, my heart eases to a stop. YouTube showed me Taylor Swift's song I Can Do It With a Broken Heart on my homepage, and I immediately resonated with the title I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, and I was like, wow, I have to listen to this song or watch the video. And while listening to the lyrics of the song, I was just like, wow, I feel like someone is literally speaking about my thoughts, my feelings, like you are literally in my head. And although I think that this song is really written through a romantic lens, I think it really applies to many aspects of our lives. My God, it's so windy. It really chronicles the story of people who are always considered to be strong people, or people who are always seen as, oh my God, this person has it together, they have a perfect life. You never really know what is going on behind the scenes. And one of the lines that really caught me is the part where she sings, I cry a lot but I'm so productive. It's an art. Oh, I'm really about to singing. I cry a lot but I'm so productive. It's an art. And I'm like, are you watching me? Very many times I cry a lot, but I'm also able to do many things like creating these videos, and I look happy as I am now, and you would think, oh my God, she has such a perfect life. She's living this really great life. I mean, she is back at her parents' house. She must have it so easy. Like, wow. How dare she? And honestly, this is something that I've always gotten, I would say, all my life, because I'm someone who is always smiling. I'm a happy person, a joyful person, and people always assume that because I'm this kind of person that is always smiling and joyful, that my life is very easy. But one of the things that a lot of people don't know is the reason why I am like this, joyful, always smiling, is because I know what sadness and sorrow feels like so much that I do not want to be the kind of person that puts other people in that space. And you know very well that the energy that you have is very contagious. So when I'm around people, I don't want to add to the sorrows that they already have by, you know, being somber and all that. I want to add a little bit of positivity or a smile, so to remind them there can be something to smile about even when you don't see it. And then there's also the fact that I've just taught myself to enjoy every aspect of my life. I have taught myself to be joyful in every situation, even when you have like the bad moments in life, because all these moments always teach us something. And of course, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. But I think because I found myself in a lot of this really not nice places, it has become habit. And now, I mean, like right now, I am in potentially one of my worst moments of my life. And it's not just now, it has been happening for a couple of years, about 2-3 years, where mentally, emotionally, physically, I'm not my best. Financially, oh my God. I'm not at my best at all. I'm not even at the average. I'm like at the worst of the worst. And I still find moments of gratitude. I still find moments of joy. You know what I find the most interesting is when I'm making these videos and I get some haters here and there. I'm like, wow, you're hating on me when I'm literally in like the worst of my life. The root of that is jealousy. And I'm like, if you're jealous now, what are you gonna do when I am my best? Like, what are you gonna do? But I could really teach a whole masterclass about how to go through the bad moments of life with joy, with a smile. It doesn't mean that you are reveling that you're going through this bad time now. It's about finding those pockets of peace, pockets of joy. For me, that really comes from nature. Become the kind of person that is very appreciative of nature in all the ways that it comes. And this is something that I actually learned while I was in France during winter, because you know, winter is something that really spans like 3-4 months. And if you're the kind of person who's always like, oh, the weather is so bad today, I'm not gonna work until the sun comes out, it doesn't work like that during winter, because the sun could be shining out, the sky could be the bluest azure blue ever, but it's so cold that it rattles your bones. You have to find a way of paying your bills. So what that really taught me is to embrace all seasons and to not be the kind of person that is affected by things that you cannot control. When it's rainy, you can enjoy the smell of the soil. When it rains, when it's sunny, enjoy how greenery just comes to life. The color green when the sun is shining is just so beautiful amongst the trees and the shrubs. When it's windy, the sound of the wind is just poetic. When it's so rainy and there's a lot of mud, there's a lot of joy in just sliding through that mud. So really, you can find something to smile about in every situation that we're in. And I really don't like the people who are always like, oh, be strong, you know, better days are coming. You know, those better days might not come. A lot of people always think that when you're going through a tough time in life, that it's just going to last a short while. Sometimes it lasts forever. And so if you don't find a way of being content where you are, that's a recipe for disaster. And I think as a society, we really need to do better, because when you look at the collective spaces we have places where people can go worship, like the churches. We have parties where people can, you know, go have fun. We have bars where people can go and numb themselves from their pain. But we need collective spaces where we can share our pain, not numb that pain, but share this pain, be free with this pain, cry our hearts out. And I really don't like this idea where people are told to not cry, be strong, and especially men, because it's so damaging. That has ripple effects in how we are interacting with each other. Because if someone has been told ever since they were young that they need to not express their emotional pain, then they become an explosive kind of person, and we don't want that in society. I have had my own fair share of bitter seasons of life, which I actually don't mind. But what I've always recognized is how those who are close around me, like family, treat me like a burden. I come from a family where I was prohibited from getting sick, because of course, who would do the house chores? The first question I was asked when I fell ill was, what were you doing? This was when I was young, but being home now made me realize that the anxiety and fear I developed in those years never really went away. Not long ago, because of the intense stress and anxiety of being around my family, my right ear became partially deaf. You would think that my first reaction would be, oh my god, what will happen if I can't hear anymore? But my first reaction was, if I say I need medical attention, I'll be ridiculed and be asked what I have done to have an ear that's partially deaf. It's the earphones, they'll say, which I barely use, and even when when I do at very low decibels. I know how my body reacts to stress and anxiety because it's not the first time. I get sick around family, and once I'm away from them, I'm miraculously healed. I kept on thinking that I'd rather be quiet, and even if I end up deaf, I can get a hearing aid, but I can't handle being gaslighted, blamed, and treated like a burden by my own family. I endured that in my younger years, and with that endurance came a lot of trauma that has taken a lot of time and energy to heal from. It's heartbreaking when I think about this. It's heartbreaking that home is not and has never been a safe place for me. If you ever ask me what I think about home, I'll tell you that it's just a destination. I'm here in this moment just for a little while before I pack my bags and go on another journey. I hear often about one of my aunties who left and never returned. She just went and never came back, and I get her. I understand her, but I wonder how one gets to that point, because as much as I may want to also just get away, these people that cause me heartache, I care for them, and sometimes I hate myself for caring about people that don't treat me as a human being. I could just leave, I know. I hear this a lot. If you don't like where you are, just leave. Just leave. I wonder why it has become acceptable to tell people to leave when they are being hurt, instead of telling those who are hurting others to stop hurting others. We would have a healthier society if we treated each other as human beings. But you want people to just leave as if it's easy to pack and go. Did you forget we live in a capitalist society? I wonder how many people are living their lives with a broken heart. I always wonder about how I feel lonely around people, but very much okay when I'm alone. I hate how we are expected to become something we are not as long as it makes other people comfortable. I heard someone say that we spend so much time with family, and yet they're the ones that know us the least. I wonder how it became acceptable for families to not accept each other as they are, rather to fit into the expectations created by traditions and culture. Many people who talk about the decay of society talk about how we need to go back to family values, the need for family as the foundation. I wonder whether these people recognize that all the things they don't like to see, the things they call societal decay, they also come from family. Family is the foundation of the good and the bad. If there's something I really hate with all my being, it's this statement that a lot of people throw around: God is going to make everything better soon. I hate this idea of waiting for better, because it means that where we are is not enough. I wonder whether such people think that bad things are caused by the devil, and God is the savior that takes you out of the bitter moments. But that in itself means that God allowed the devil to put you in these unwanted situations in the first place. And why would you trust such a God?